Hey guys, Crystal Gross here. Welcome back to another Pick a Card reading. This one is all about who do people think you are. So we have 3 piles to choose from, pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. Quick disclaimer while you are connecting with one of the cards which have been shuffled out of the deck to represent your pile. So please pause the video, take a moment to utilize your intuition to connect. But if you don't pause the video, quick disclaimer is if a message begins to put you on a downward spiral, please opt off of the reading and trust that the reading is not for you today. Maybe another day you'll be ready for it, but that is never my intention. So please trust my judgment in the fact that, funnily enough, the intention's never to upset you with these videos, right? So with that said, let's jump into it. Let's find out, who do people think you are? Pile 1, welcome to your reading. We have card number 2, Golden Shadow. Discover deep dreams and desires. Card number 2 here. We're going to see what the book says. No, I'm going to connect intuitively. We've got a heart, we've got the color red, we have the word truth, golden shadow. So I would say a lot of you here, I feel like the recent shadow work that you've done has allowed you to see the truth in a lot of matters. I believe the fact that you are now stepping into the golden shadow in the sense that you are no longer, living your life or taking action from the dark shadow, right? So I see this card as more as working from the heart chakra as opposed from the root chakra. I do see astrology signs here. So based off that, you could be working on upskilling yourself in astrology. You could be very fixated on astrology, understanding, the aspects and the trines and the squares. You're really deep diving into astrology. Some of you are, maybe some of you need to, just to sort of understand maybe yourself a little bit more. But this sort of card is giving me the impression it is the opposite of, a dark night of the soul, because that heart seems to be cracked right open. Now, if that's not resonating, I kind of feel like for some of you, recent truth has really cracked open your heart, right? There is this sense of being set free. But I definitely feel like a lot of you are only now discovering your deepest desires, your biggest dreams. You may have got sort of lost along your path and you weren't really sure where the fuck you were going. And now there is something that has ignited in you and you are ready. You're ramping up is what I hear. All right. So I don't really like that deck. Do you ever buy decks and think, why the fuck did I buy that deck? I do not connect. So after I do this pick a card reading, I'm going to go through my tarot collection. I'm actually going to put some up for sale. I just don't like clutter, Maybe I won't. Maybe I just need a bigger bookshelf. All right, I'm going to go with this deck because it's new and the energy is fresh. I know I need to cleanse my deck, so because my decks have been overused, I don't tend to want to use them. And the reason why I don't want to use them is because energetically I know they've been overused. So why would that be of importance to you? Pile number 1. I would say maybe a sort of I'm just going to take this out. Maybe that has an affiliation with the people in your life, right? Maybe people who they think you are is somebody that once you've had enough, you've had enough. Like once they've sort of exhausted all of that they can from you, you kind of run for the hills, or you pull your energy back. You're definitely somebody who is protecting your heart space as well here. So who do people think you are? Let's find out. I don't know why I felt the need to share that tarot cleansing thing, but let me know if it found the person. I feel like I'm meant to say something. So what I'll do is I'll lay out a picnic blanket in the backyard. I get all of my crystals, which is like a little trolley filled, and I put all the decks out in the sun. I get them out of their boxes, beam them in the sun with the crystals all mixed through the decks on the picnic blanket. And that is how I cleanse. So obviously you can cleanse with sage as well, which naturally I should do that. But you know, that's a fucking big task. So if any of you guys have some different cleansing rituals, drop them down in the comments, because I would love to, for bulk decks, because there's about 100 decks that need cleansing, and I just don't want to do it. I'd rather just get fresh decks. Anyway, let's move on. Let's find out, who do people think you are? Girl of Cups, Knight of Swords, Ten of Cups, the Strength, the Devil, eh? We've got Nine of Coins on the bottom of the deck. On the deck. No, sorry, that was inappropriate. Okay. I'm hearing the Spice Girls song. Who do you think you are? All right, so strong water and earth, I guess. So we have Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, if you want to consider the coins, and then Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, and then Gemini, air element. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Based off the astrology placements, you know, when I think about Virgos, you know, I think they're very, like, their strengths is the fact that they're very practical, they're very analytical, they're also very loyal. So that's, I kind of feel like I'm being more drawn to astro placements as to who people think you are. They also may think you're a person who overworks. They may think you of a person who worries a lot and could be overly critical at times, okay? The Devil card, being Capricorn, could suggest that people might think you're a person who is very responsible, you're very disciplined, but at the same time you can be very unforgiving, you're very moody, right? Because these are just sort of traits of these sign placements. I'm not really being called to dive into the cups energy, but that is sort of the gist of the water elements, but that is sort of the gist. I would have to say, with the water elements coming out, we have some very intuitive psychic individuals who would pick this pile. So, you know, I would say based off that notion, who do people think you are is somebody who is quite spiritual, and we see that here with the Hermit. They think of you as somebody who is quite fluid, very adaptable, somebody who's happy to go with the flow until they start exhausting all of your energy. I feel like you guys need a lot of time alone, and people, who do they think you are? You're a person who does spend a lot of time alone. You are very addicted to spending time alone, but I also see this, like, I don't know, light she's playing with here, or he is playing with. And I kind of get the impression like people definitely see you as somebody who is very reflective on their spirituality. You are very spiritual, I would have to say here. But yeah, I think with the Nine of Cups being the overall energy here, who do people think you are? Like the Nine of Cups, sorry, the Nine of Coins is, in reference to a baby empress. So I would have to say, based off that energy, people think of you as somebody who is very focused on abundance or has a lot of abundance already. There is this connection with animals here, specifically birds for some of you, and horses. And maybe even fish, okay? But I feel with this Nine of Coins, I think I see a very forgiving individual here. I see somebody who is connecting with birds, with a bird, right? Which looks to be a dove. Dove has a representation with love, right? Dove, love. You're a person who really examines the thoughts and feelings of all beings. So some of you could be vegan or thinking about being vegan. You could be vegetarian. If you're not, you are very focused on connecting with animals and working with animals, saving animals. You're the kind of person who will pull over on the side of the road if you see an injured animal. But yeah, the Nine of Pentacles definitely tells me who do people think you are is you're somebody who is on the path or already on route to having a lot of financial stability, a lot of material wealth, and not at the cost of others. Like I feel like with the Page of Cups here coming out and the Ten of Cups, I feel like who people think you are is you're somebody who is very loving, very giving, very generous, okay? But you're also not to be like fucked with here. So this is another sort of energy coming through, which we'll get to. So that's sort of what I'm getting with the Nine of Coins. I think overall who do people think you are is like, I do think that they think quite highly of you, pile one. They see you as a catch. I think you probably have a lot of people who would be very interested in investing time and energy into you. Although I do feel like for a lot of you, you attract a lot of like low vibrational people. And the reason maybe why you do that, it's for you to crack open their heart here. Okay. But yeah, the Page of Cups, who do people think you are? It's very interesting where this fish is laying over her eye. She has one cup above in her head. So realistically, the message I'm getting from this is you're a one guy girl or a one girl guy or a one girl girl, like whatever your gender specific is when it comes to romantic encounters. Like you only have eyes for one person, not two people, is what I feel. Like when you're into somebody, you're only into one person at a time is what I'm picking up from this. Although we have three fish, which is really random imagery here for the Page of Cups, it's sort of like people have to come correct towards you is what I'm picking up. She looks like she's not going to take any shit. You have already put yourself on a pedestal, so you already hold a very full cup for yourself. So if people don't come to you to add another cup to that cup, I feel like who do they think you are is somebody who is more than happy to tell somebody in a very witty, in a very what's like the Knight of Swords is a person who is very quick thinker. They're very smart in a very witty sense. So you can kind of throw shade at somebody in a very sort of passive aggressive way, but not in a hurtful way. I feel like with the Knight of Swords coming out here is that you are highly intuitive. But you like with the water elements here, but I think people view you as somebody like who's very smart. You may actually, people, who do they think you are? You're probably somebody who doesn't show their intelligence straight away. You may come across as very naive, and then who do they think you are is somebody who hides their intelligence. I feel with the 10 of Cups here, guys, who do they think you are is just somebody who's very family orientated, somebody who could come from a very positive bloodline as well. I think a lot of people think you are somebody who comes from a high valued family, or like your family is of social status. But you come from a very loving, very giving family. We have like, is this potentially 3 generations or a mum, dad, and a baby's hand? Either way, who do people think you are is somebody who is very loved and cherished here with the 10 of Cups. You're somebody who's also very focused on happiness and fulfilling your own cups. Now, I would have to say there is some element here to family based off the imagery here. So people, who do they think you are is somebody who maybe wants a family, you know, who will give everything to their family. These cats. Did anyone know that cats climb cupboards like koalas? It's crazy. But yeah, so, and then look, where we're going to end this reading, guys, is the Devil, right? So who do people think you are? I would have to say, based off this energy in here with the red, red is, for me, is a very passionate color, okay? It's also a very aggressive color. So I don't know, for some of you, who do people think you are? Is like, there is this other side to you that that can come out if the right buttons are pushed. So they might think of you as somebody who is actually pushed the right way, poked the right way, is somebody who could be quite dark, like who could tap into very dark behavior, okay? So whether that be witch magic, like curses, that sort of jazz, is sort of the vibe I'm picking up. You may worship something, like who do people think you are is somebody who worships something that is deemed taboo or satanic, okay? There are religions out there who believe yoga is satanic, so it could be just something like that, okay? Don't go and get your knickers in a knot here. You know, the Devil card could just mean that you have some kind of obsession, like who do people think you are? You're somebody who is obsessed with something. You would only know if that resonates. You know, you could be very much codependent on something, and that is who they think you are. So take that as it resonates, because not everyone is codependent on something. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. Let me know down in the comments if that resonated, if you want to share any of your journey in, you know, regarding this reading, please do. But sending all the love and light to you at this time. Bye. Pile number 2, welcome to your reading, those of you who chose Judgment. When all sides are equal, the path of liberated wisdom appears. What I'm kind of picking up here for a lot of you is that you're quick to pass judgment, but your judgment is always right, is what I'm picking up. So who do people think you are? Somebody who could be quite judgy, okay? You're somebody who has a tendency to be always right, okay? Your judgment seems to be always right. And because of this, who do people think you are? Is you're somebody who can hold the whole world in your hands. Because you're a person who, I don't know if you're well traveled here, okay? Like we do have a galaxy here with the Earth, right? So who do people think you are? They might think you're quite outworldly. Some of you could identify as starseeds, or, you know, like Indigo Child, the Palladians, that sort of area of being, I guess. I think a lot of you could get a little bit cocky in regards to your judgment. And it's not cocky in a bad way, but it's probably the fact that so many people have told you were wrong, or so many people have tried to prove you wrong, that you now have finally found the confidence to know that your judgment is always right. You can make executive decisions now because your judgment is always right. You see things that most people don't see straight away. Okay, they will eventually see it, but you see things before anyone else sees them in your vicinity, in your environment. This does connect you to a lot of people. I think a lot of people are very blessed, or they feel blessed to know you. Okay. I do feel like if you have pulled your energy back from people, they do actually cry about this for some reason, because you not being in their life, pile 2, makes it very hard for them to make decisions when choices are presented to them. I think a lot of you are sort of like advisors, right? You'd probably make really good school counselors and career counselors and stuff like that, is what I'm hearing. But yeah, I definitely feel like there is a lot of loss and grief felt when you pull your energy away from people, especially if they don't listen to your judgment. I think when you guys are the kind of people, like, you will help people, you're happy to help them, but if they're not going to like take the help and make the change, you sort of will pull your energy away, sort of what I feel for a lot of you. You probably attract a lot of wounded people. Okay. So let's find out, who do people think you are? 3 of Wands. Let me take this one. There's that 5 of Cups. 8 of Wands. The World. It's funny. 3 of Wands and the World are 2 very strong travel cards. Knight of Coins, Knight of Pentacles. So we have 3 of Wands, 5 of Cups, 8 of Wands, the World, Girl of Coins, so Page of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles. So we have fire, earth, water. Oh, and the World is Capricorn. Saturn in Capricorn. I feel like you do have a more fire in you. I think you're very passionate people. And again, I'm kind of being drawn back to this judgment energy that came through. Like, you finally have found your voice. You finally found the confidence to trust that your intuition is always right. Your judgment is always right. It's like 99.9% always right. And I think some of you could still doubt your judgment at times because you pass the judgment, but it could take a while, could take years before that judgment is actually comes to light. So just bear in mind, like, trusting your intuition takes time, can take decades. But once you've got the trust, don't fucking ever question it. Trust it, go with it. Because when people can see that you've worked out, you know, their actions or their deception, that can change their path, which means you will never actually see that judgment come into fruition. But you will know, pile 2, you know, you can feel it in your fucking whole essence of being. You can feel it in your bones, right? Feel it in your stomach, in your mind, in your heart. You feel it. Like, you can't ignore it. And I think a lot of you are at that stage in your life. You can't ignore these signs anymore. You can't ignore the energy. Now, the Three of Wands, right? It's a card that talks about forward movement. So who do people think you are? You're a person who, she's looking back though, right? You're a person who is trying to move forward, but you're a person, it's sort of like you will forgive, but you will never forget. You'll always look back to your past. And it's like, who do people think you are? Is you're a person who will forgive, but you won't forget. That once people show you their true colors, you will always paint them with that brush. So that's a quite, like, you know, very I don't want to say stubborn. Stubborn's not the right word, but I think these people would call you stubborn. You're very stubborn. You're quick to judge, but at the same time, like, you're never wrong either. Okay, so don't take it as a negative thing. We're just asking what, like, you know, who do people think you are? I just think with this Three of Wands, you're still they think you're a person who's always moving forward, but you never forget your past. You're a person who has learnt from your past. You're a person who will not allow the past to repeat itself. And I think people quite definitely admire this about you, because there are a lot of people who do not ever get out of a cycle with people. They just stay in it. They stay in bad friendships, bad relationships, bad family like connections. They just don't have this courage that you obviously have, Pole, to fucking walk away. Now, the Five of Cups is one that talks about like loss and deception and grief, infidelity even. Who do they think you are? You're a person, like, you know, she does have a band-aid on her wrist with a little flower. So they might think of you as somebody who has gone through a lot of loss, who has been exposed to a lot of deception. And I would have to say it's reiterating this shadow on this third wand in the past part, right? Because that's how I see. They might even see you, or they might think of you as somebody who does have like a bit of a hole in their heart because of the loss and the grief that you have endured. You could actually talk about this with the Eight of Wands. So that is why, you know, they think of you this way. This is who they think you are, because there is something you talk about that affiliates with this Five of Cups, is what I'm hearing. I feel like the forward movement in the Three of Wands and the swift movement of the Eight of Wands tells me that who do they think you are is you're somebody who does move on from trauma pretty easily now. You may not have in the past, but you've endured a lot of trials and tribulations, is who they think you are. And you can kind of keep it moving, move it on. You're a very practical person. You're very stable in your energy, with the Knight of Pentacles like being the overall vibe of you and how they view you. And I think because of this energy and because of your past, people who they think you are is you're somebody who is finally in their power, who's very confident. You've lived a life, you've lived many lives in this life, and it has actually worked out in your favor with the Knight of Pentacles as being who they think you are. You're very logical, you're very practical, you move with purpose, right? Every decision you make has been thought out. You're not a fool, you don't go rushing in. I just kind of think with this energy, who people think you are is somebody who keeps it moving when times are tough. You keep it moving when you experience failure. You don't allow tragedy to fuck your plans up, is what I feel. You know, you definitely, this gives me this energy, like the world talks about ending of a cycle and completion. And that is what I see here. She's like focusing on her, you know, she does not look in a very happy stance here though. So I would have to say, like, who do people think you are is somebody who will close out cycles that no longer serve you. If a cycle is not going to bring in new opportunities, positive, stable, secure opportunities, you will end the cycle. If cycles are only causing you disappointment, if cycles are holding you back from your goals, your dreams moving forward, you end the cycle, because that is the stable and the practical thing to do for you. Or that is how these people see you. You could be very cutthroat. But yeah, I kind of feel with this World card, people think you are somebody who has closed out a lot of cycles. You've moved on from many different situations to find better opportunities, to find better things to invest your time and energy in, stuff that's going to help you feel more stable and secure in yourself. So I overall think like who people think you are, power to, is somebody not to be messed with, I would say. You know, you're a person in your own right. You're a person who, you're very different, very unique, I would say, to the people around you. And I feel like a lot of you don't hold back your emotions and your feelings. You may, you know, they might view you as somebody who needs to work on that a tiny bit. You might have no filter. That's probably what the best way of explaining that. There's nothing wrong with having no filter. If people can't handle that, that's no one's problem. That is not your problem. It's just theirs. You shouldn't have to change who you are because it offends other people, unless you're being offensive, right? But yeah, so it's an interesting read, this one. Like, you never really know what's going to come out. There is something about travel here. Like, this horse is looking back in the distance. We have travel. Who do they think you are? They might think you as somebody who is always looking to travel, or you're worldly traveled. You're always looking, like they're looking back, she's looking back, this person's looking back. There must be some kind of like knowledge here about you. Who do they think you are? Is somebody who maybe, I want to say you never look back, but all of these like three cards are looking back. So maybe it's like you don't look back with anger, right? That Oasis song is coming through, right? Don't look back in anger. So I feel like who do people think you are is somebody who's had a lot of trials and tribulations. You do look back, but you don't look back in anger. I feel like you've taken those experiences and you've turned them into gold. Like, maybe you're monetizing off experiences, like you're sharing your stories with people. 8 of Wands is heavily linked with communication, you know, and positive, well-liked communication. So people, who do they think you are is like somebody who has got a lot of stuff to share or say that can actually benefit others, to close out maybe cycles. You may have helped a lot of people close out cycles and seek new opportunities elsewhere, possibly at work with the Page of Coins here. But yeah, I think a lot of you are still working on something internally that is making you angry or has upset you in some way. So that could be working with your shadow self at this time. I don't know if you've been separated or going through a separation. Somebody is. You know, maybe you are currently learning how to forgive, right? And be more compassionate with the people who have, you know, played with your heart chakra, or with like your heart in general. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like you finally could be surrendering to this energy here. Nearly. I just kind of think there's still a little bit more, like there's something blocked here. I'm feeling very blocked connecting to the energy. So I would say you're probably still working on that. And that's the last thing you really want to, like, you come to these for entertainment purposes, not a fucking counseling session. But hopefully that has helped somebody. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there and move on to pile 3. Sending all my love and light to you. If you feel comfortable to share any comments or feedback down below, feel free. And yeah, many blessings to you, pile number 2. Pile number 3, welcome to your reading. We have overthinking, redirect your focus to change the narrative. A lot of people overthink, okay? I think like, you know, the general, like the gist of this card could tell me that a lot of you do overthink, or you're currently overthinking about a subject that you need to redirect your focus to change the narrative, right? So who do people think you are? They could think of you as somebody who does overthink at first, but then you're a person who can easily redirect your focus to change the narrative. And to reword that a little bit better, right, to change, like to understand what I'm trying to say here, I think people who they think you are is somebody who may invest a lot of time and energy on a situation, but you do that because it allows you to change the narrative. It allows you to solve the problem that is being currently like experienced. And I think people view you, who they think you are, is somebody who's a good problem solver. You have a solution for everything. You're actually very connected spiritually, you're very grounded. I kind of feel like all chakras are activated in a very healthy manner here. So although you may overthink, it is in a positive sense, not a negative one. You don't sit there stewing on things. It's more about you sit there thinking about a situation in order to come up with a solution. Okay, and you're probably a person who in situations you'll put yourself in everyone's shoes in order to come up with the right course of action, or provide the appropriate advice, or come up with the decision you choose to make, because you think about every different angle, which is a form of overthinking, right? That's sort of the vibe I'm picking up. Not like somebody sitting there chewing on their fingernails and like crying or whatever. That's not the energy I pick up with the imagery here. You overthink because it is the healthiest thing to do when you know you are faced with an obstacle, or you're faced with a situation that is not favorable. You know, maybe it's about choosing a job. But I feel like who people think you are is somebody who definitely thinks a lot. Right? A strong air energy. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. One of my sisters is a Libra, and she thinks a lot. Like that can be hereditary as well, right? Alrighty. Let's find out who people think you are. So we have the Lovers. That's funny because when I was looking at the Seven of Cups, I was like, well, they definitely think of you as somebody who has more than enough options in life, right? And then we've got the Three of Cups, which is like friends, suitors as well. But I love the Lovers card coming out here. So we have the Seven of Cups, Three of Cups, Seven of Swords, the Fool, and the Eight of Coins, the Eight of Pentacles. So yeah, strong Gemini and Aquarius energy here with the Fool and the Lovers card. And then we have Earth, Water, and Air again. I actually get a very graceful energy with this pile. Obviously, the Seven of Swords throws us off here. You probably we'll connect to that. We'll do one step at a time because my brain is like the downloads. But the Lovers card and the imagery is quite loving here. And I actually think who do people think you are is somebody who would make a great lover. You also, who do they think you are is somebody who has a lot of options when it comes to love. Okay. They might actually think you as somebody who is in third-party relationships, okay? Let's be real with the Three of Cups and the Seven of Swords and the Lovers and the Seven of Cups, sorry. This line here, I think who do people think you are is somebody who could have all their cake and eat it too. Like you can have 25 cakes and you know, that would be fine. I actually think with the overthinking energy coming through is very strategic. So I think with the Seven of Swords coming out, it's talking about strategy. You know, this person's hiding one sword behind all the other swords, like at the back. So I kind of feel like with this Seven of Swords, who do people think you are? Is you always got something up your sleeve. People can come at you in all different kinds of like ill-mannered way, but you will always hold this sword because you overthink, and you will hold like something up your sleeve that will fuck people over. I think who people think you are is somebody you are in your head a lot. You could be viewed as somebody as kind of delusional, right? But delusional in the way that they think of you as somebody who is delusional, but scarily, because I don't know if that's a word, because what they think is delusional is actually accurate. I don't know how to word it. It's kind of weird, but I'm sure you will understand. But let's get back to the positive here. Like, most of it is very positive. I feel like the Seven of Swords is very strategic energy. You've always got something up your sleeve. You always got something in your back pocket, okay? You know a lot about things. You know a lot about the people around you. And I think that's how people, like, they view you, or who they think you are, as somebody who knows a lot of secrets amongst your friends. You have held on to secrets for friends, you know, and that could be all kinds of secrets. But I definitely feel like with the Lovers card, who people think you are is somebody who is quite easy to love. I think there is something about your beauty or your aesthetics that these people, you know, think you're somebody who is very sought after, is what I'm picking up. I think a lot of people fantasize about you here with the Seven of Cups. Like, people think you're somebody who, you know, has a lot of people around them in order to like bed them. I can't help to think, look, there is never any judgment. There's no ever judgment in the fact of, I don't agree with infidelity, but at the same time, I understand it happens. And just because somebody commits infidelity doesn't mean, like, yeah, I'm not going to sit here and explain it. I don't know. I just kind of think it's a shitty situation. It's shit for everyone. But it happens, you know. There's something here about infidelity. Like, who do people think you are? You're either open to it or you're fully against it, is what I would have to say. So take that as it resonates, right? Because it's going to be different. There's going to be a handful of you who are like, fuck infidelity, etc., etc., and others who are going to be like, oh, I don't really care. But yeah, there is this energy surrounding infidelity, and they view you as either like, yeah, I actually think who people think you are is, you know, the kind of people who would cheat. And I think who people think you are is somebody that can't be cheated on. You can tell a cheater from a non-cheater is what I think these people see you as. You are quite gifted when it comes to like sleazy slime bags. I don't know. It's a very weird energy I'm picking up, and not in a bad way, but I think this all comes back to this overthinking, right? Who people think you are with the Seven of Cups could be the fact that you're a fucking daydreamer. You have a lot of goals and dreams in your life. Like, you have big dreams. You don't have little baby dreams. You've got big dreams. Who people think you are is somebody who's destined for a big future. They think of you as somebody who has got a lot of good friends around you. You know, we have 3, like, are they blood sisters? I don't know, some kind of like scissor sisters. Nothing wrong with that, but it's an interesting act actually to sorry, TMI, but Yeah, that Three of Cups is like a card that's about celebrating as well. It's not, there's three individuals here, and I just think who people think you are is somebody who's very well connected to their friends, is what I pick up with the Three of Cups. Seven of Swords I've sort of already talked on, so I'm not going to harp on that. I love the Fool card here, guys. It definitely tells me who people think you are is somebody who, I don't know, she kind of seems to be chasing the sun, They think you're somebody who is looking for fun, light-hearted adventure. They might think of you as somebody who is looking for their soulmate, who is looking for love. Like, these two look very much in love. They look at you as somebody who is very loving, okay? But there is this, you're very strategic in something. Maybe you're very strategic in trying to find your lover, right? We have the Eight of Pentacles. We also have a road here, a highway. And thinking about the Fool and then the imagery of this Eight of Pentacles, who people think you are is somebody who will go like the long haul. Hang on, there's a door here. That's interesting. But there's a door there. Isn't that weird? So weird. The same shape. I'm not sure if you can see it. But see how, yeah. Who do people think you are? I just think you're a person who can open many doors, is what I feel. Because of how you act and how you move in this life, who do people think you are? Is you're a person who can open many doors to success. Like Eight of Pentacles, very, very hardworking card, but it's a very successful card. It's success through hard work, right? It's success through investing your time and energy from the Seven of Pentacles to the Eight of Pentacles. But you are very adventurous. Now, the Fool talks about somebody taking a leap of faith towards something that is deemed risky to other people, but the person as being the Fool, right? So people who they think you are is a risk taker, somebody who's happy to leap off the edge and chase your dreams, to go after your dreams. And the reason why you can do that is because you will put the hard work in, you will go the long road. I think who people think you are is that you would make a very good counterpart because you will put in the effort to a very successful relationship. You will put the effort into doing the best you can at work. I think you are definitely seen as a very hard worker, somebody who's very committed, very loyal, very practical, somebody who doesn't just give up. Like, when things get hard, you don't give up. Like, that's who people think you are. Like, and I think that's a very admirable trait to have, pile 3. I think a lot of your friends, that's who they think you are. That's who they tell people who you are. You have big, random, weird dreams that may come across as very delusional, but you put in the effort. You take the leap of faith to these random delusional dreams, and you use strategies to overcome it. You lean on your friends to get ideas. I think this is definitely a very high vibrational pile, to be honest, and I think you guys should be very proud of yourself, of where you are today. Keep doing you, keep following, your path, keep opening those doors for yourself, keep chasing the sun. People are very lucky to know you, to cross paths with you. I think you definitely inspire a lot of people to work harder on themselves, to try and open more doors for themselves, to take more risks. So you are definitely a blessing here. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there, guys. I hope you found that message well, and I'll see you next time. Bye.